The law of God is like a thermometer you put under your tongue. It's to measure how sick you are. Measure your temperature. How many of you know if you swallow the thermometer, it doesn't break the fever? So for those of you who think that if I'm gonna try to live harder the law of God, I'm going to break this sin. No, thermometer is not an Advil. Thermometer is sent to measure to you and let you know you are sick. But then God now says, I have a cure. The law of God is like a mirror. It's not a shower. By looking in the mirror, you don't get washed. By looking in the mirror, you get reminded that you don't look good. God introduces the law and the law introduces guilt, and that is a purpose for guilt. For those of you who feel guilty, you're like, man, God take away the guilt. Guilt is good because guilt points to a problem that you have a disease that only God can cure. Now, what our culture has introduced is the culture introduced therapy, forgive yourself, love yourself, self-gospel, meaning a good news of you don't need God. You just need to practice your breathing. You can breathe your sin out. As long as you don't judge yourself but you love yourself, you will find peace. I get it. There's just one problem with that. Every sin you commit, you incur debt with God. Even if you could forgive yourself of what you did, it doesn't change the fact your record is gathering debt. Imagine this, you go on the shopping spree. You take 6 credit cards, max all of them out. You buy a lot of stuff. You come home, you feel guilty. You're like, let me meditate. Let me practice my breathing. Let me tell myself, I'm not guilty, I'm not guilty, I'm not guilty, I'm not guilty. I love myself, I love myself. I'm good. I'm not a shopaholic. I just like things. I feel so much better. How many of you know that doesn't pay off the credit cards? Doesn't matter what you tell yourself, it doesn't matter what garbage you fill into your head, it doesn't change the fact the credit cards will be calling and say you owe us this and that. Please understand, no matter how much perfume you spray on the corpse is still dead. It doesn't matter how much self-help books we read, it doesn't change the fact our sin offends a holy God, and that record and that debt somebody needs to pay. New Age, Hinduism, Buddhism, none of that can pay that. Now it can help you to calm your mind for a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact you stand in front of a holy God and you owe a debt you cannot pay.